And they said, oh, wine bibber and glutton. And he complained. He said, look, when John the Baptist came, fasting and doing all the things the Pharisees do, you said, you know, there's an odd man. When I come eating and drinking, you say a wine bibber and glutton. Let's treat Christ the way he really was. Now, let me explain something to you. You see, it's great to know we're not under law, we're under grace. That means we're born again and we have a new nature, new life, and there's no struggle with sin. Now unto him who's able to keep you from and present you before. You know, if God's able to keep me, he's taken on a mammoth task. But he's able to keep me from, hey, and he causes me to will and to do of his good pleasure. Ezekiel 36, verse 27. Causes me to walk in his statutes. God is the cause. God is the provider. Is that plain when they're talking of the new covenant? And it's your nature that determines who you are. What you do comes from what you are. You understand that? And when you're born again and born of his Spirit, life is a great freedom. Let's take verse 10 of Colossians 3. And you put on the new man, which is renewed in knowledge after the image of him that created him, where there is neither Greek nor Jew, circumcision nor uncircumcision, barbarian, Scythian, bond nor free, but Christ is all and in all. Is that plain? Christ is all and in all. Now, you don't have culture getting in the way of Christ. There is no difference. Let me tell you something, friends. As a good friend of mine, Archbishop Benson Edelholzer, said, it's never the color of his skin that hampers a man, it's the lack of his skill. If you've got the skill and the ability, you can do anything in life. It's nothing to do with culture, it's to do with attitude. And if you're a Christian, you have the Spirit of Christ. And if you have the Spirit of Christ, there's neither Jew nor Greek, bond nor free. No, you know, culture isn't an issue. The only reason people make culture an issue is to defend their sin. That's why, thank God, we don't have a multicultural society. I live in a Christian one. Now, out there, they might call it multicultural, but as far as I'm concerned, there's only one God. One Father of the Lord Jesus Christ. There's only one way. There's only one life, his. And so I'm a Christian. And I adhere strictly to the view that my God is the only true God. The Father of the Lord Jesus Christ. There's no other God. That's it. He's creator of the whole universe. That's it. He's the source of all life. That's it. He came, he bled, he died. Third day he rose again from the dead. That's it. He ascended into heaven and sitteth at the right hand of the Father, ever living to make intercession for me. That's it. He shed his precious blood to deal with sin and the nature of sin within a man. That's it. He broke the power of sin. He conquered all that was against him. That's it. At Calvary he shouted, it is finished. That's it. Reconciliation and atonement are a done deal. That's it. In fact, Christianity is totally dogmatic. That's it. That's why in heaven, without her, the dogs and the whoremongers. Because We've done away with the dogs. See? That's it. Nothing that's impure shall enter in. That's it. And so, for me, it's not to do with intellectual reasoning, natural thinking. It's to do with the mind of Christ. It's to do with what God says. It's not to do with what I reason or my culture reasons or society reason. Today, you know, they're trying to twist society and make it something it shouldn't be. I don't believe in that. Listen to me. Society today is going through a tremendous onslaught from politicians who want to pervert society. I do not believe at all that it's right that we should have 24-hour drinking so that young people are stoned out of their minds. I don't believe it's right to say that drug addiction's okay, you know. Just smoke the weed and, you know, get psychotic problems in your mind because and they say, oh, well, it'll help with arthritis, help with MS, help with it. No, drugs are drugs. And if you're going to go and take drugs that make you hallucinate, you're going to lose your mind. It's wrong. But society says it's all right. But as far as I'm concerned, drugs are a no-no. You all agree, don't you? I mean, anything that's mind-bending and is going to affect is a no-no. Now, amazingly, I grew up in a home that was totally and utterly anti-Christian. I mean, you know, it just was. My father was born into Catholicism, but he hated it so much he was anti-Christian. Not anti in a vigorous way, but he just wouldn't have anything to do with it because of the whole hypocrisy of it. My mother was of similar ilk. But I want to tell you one thing. I grew up in an atmosphere like that, but drugs to me were an offense. And to a lot of people in the world, you know, just people who wouldn't go to church or darken the doors, a lot of them have a kind of ethic that's embedded in them. Now, mine was embedded in me just after the war. Do you know, one thing I love about thinking back, you know, and I can, you know, I'm old enough to say, hey, you know, I was born in 1943. The Germans tried to kill me, but I survived. They machine-gunned the pram that I'd only minutes before come out of. Cannon shell went right through it. My mother had gone and picked me up, take me inside before a Messerschmitt came. And they used to fly down Biggin Hill, down the houses, and machine-gun the prams of the children in the garden. They used to drop landmines. Unfortunately, one came down in our garden. And the parachute that it came on caught in the tree, and it swung 2 inches above the ground. And had it gone and not been caught in that tree that God planted there in consideration of my survival, in all eternity, oh, he did. And he caused the branch to go out the right